bud. Good to see you. This is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. I have actually had a few opportunities to kind of hang out with David for a few days at a time. The more I hang out with him, the more I'm like, wow, he's a really great guy.
Awesome. You like this place?
Yeah, this is totally great. This is like totally you guys. He doesn't meet a stranger. Like once you meet him, it's like, come on and hang over. Just like Christine's kind of like, have a party at my house. So they fit each other like that, you know?
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Monday, January 8th, 2024. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. You ever watch a show and you're like, this is so anticlimactic? Okay, bear with me. Stay with me, friends. If you're a fan of Christine and if you're a fan of Sister Wives, please know I'm not a fan of the show. I literally just talk about the show for all of you. And I don't like polygamy. But do you ever watch a show and you're like, I already know the ending, I already know the beginning, and I already know the middle? That's sort of how I felt about Wedding Special, Christine and David Style. The one benefit and the one nice part of this episode, which all so fast, so furious, there was hardly any time for drama, which who needs drama on a wedding day? But there was also very little time to get to know anyone, or much of their backstory, or much of anything. And Christine's dad stole the show because he clearly lets the world know that he did not like Kody Brown. And Kody Brown did something with his hair, and he wore a suit or like a jacket, which he never does on the set. It was very bizarre. It was almost like he was either trying to impress Christine or impress the ladies, like, hey, I'm on the market, friends, or make himself look better. I don't know. So there's a lot to dive into. Before we do, can you do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up? Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed and click on the bell so you never miss a video.
Walking up, I was like, You're hot.
Oh my God.
Your glow about you was incredible.
The episode is the weekend of her wedding. So it is, I think it's filmed over, I believe, 3 days. A day that they arrive down in southern Utah, the next day, which is the rehearsal and like a boat ride, and the next day is the wedding. In this episode, we get all through the first 2 days up until the morning of the wedding. In the beginning of the episode, we hear all about Christine and David's love story, that they've been together only 10 months before they get married, that Christine has lied to people that she's been with him for a year, even though it's shorter, that they met through a matchmaker, that she pursued him, that he thought she was aggressive, but it was like love at first sight. Their relationship was pretty fast and furious. They both are very attracted to each other. It is very clear. And David has a fun-loving, goofy personality. He is a breath of fresh air by comparison to Kody. So that sets the stage. David is a jokester, and Christine and David love each other, and everyone goes down to Moab, Utah for the wedding. It was at one point, though, that for some reason producers decide that they're going to ask Robin and Kody about the relationship and Mary. And as I showed you last week, Robin and Kody were basically, Kody says that he finds out about the wedding through his sister. He sees a wedding announcement at his sister's house, and Robin gets really snarky and doesn't want to talk about it and says, I just hope that David and Christine are happy.
I hope Christine and David can be happy. That's all I'm going to say.
Mary, for her part, says that she's glad that Christine has found her person. She is sad about what's happened in the family, but she's really happy that Christine has found happiness after everything. And then Janelle says that she doesn't know as much about David as their relationship because Christine doesn't really tell her a whole lot, and she's met him a couple times and she always has fun with him. What I will note is that when they did a lot of the activities the first 2 days, Janelle and her kids were not involved in the activities that took place between Christine's biological kids and David's biological kids. And when Christine did the facials, Janelle and her daughters were not there. It was Christine's daughters, David's daughters, and their daughters-in-law. That was it. And then some of their sisters and I think Christine's mom. But Janelle and her daughters were not involved in that. So you learn quickly that there's a lot of kids involved in here and they absolutely love each other.
Thank you all for being here so much. No, babe. And then after that, Truly's gonna walk holding our rings. Woo! And then my son Peyton is gonna walk me down the aisle to my dad. And my dad's gonna be sitting down and then he'll finish walking me to you.
For years on this show, we haven't been able to see the intimacy of relationships. And I'm not talking about getting it on in the bedroom. I'm talking about couples holding hands, hugging one another, kissing each other, loving each other, showing affection to one another. Seeing how happy Christine is with David, it's so clear that one, he's a good match for her. Two, they love each other. But three, the fact that she was missing affection in her life for so many years must have been like she was attention starved, affection starved. And Janelle did say that she feels like the open displays of affection sort of heal a wound that Kody had given to, that Christine has because of Kody. Because the women were jealous of each other, they could never actually be openly affectionate with Kody. That's just so stressful. So it's nice to see that like you can see an actual couple acting like a couple. Now, David is kind of a prankster. Once Christine tells everyone about their vision, he takes a tumble on the stage and it's actually kind of funny. And again, not something that Kody would do.
Oh. Hey, I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't know. Somebody just tripped me. I think it was Christine.
Did you hear that? What is that? That's the sigh of someone that sees a man laughing on the show and being goofy rather than having a knife in his kidney, screaming and yelling and having a hissy fit about kids not following his quote unquote rules. This is a man that's literally just enjoying his life. So he's a goofy guy, not afraid of the cameras, not afraid of any of it. Christine and him had differing views on what they wanted for this wedding. He would have preferred eloping, but she wanted a big wedding because she never got married. And yes, if you're wondering, they do talk about their wedding for the millionth time. Kody and Christine talk about their miserable wedding. Christine's mom, Annie, is there, and she gets emotional after they do the walkthrough because it's the first time she's at a wedding for Christine, and she reveals that she was actually never able to attend Christine's wedding because she was not a part of the church at the time when Christine and Kody married, and so she was just so happy to see Christine find love, and she called Christine the most courageous and brave person in her life.
The most amazing, courageous person I know. She's been so incredible in my life. I love her so much, and I'm so excited for her.
This raw emotion by Annie was so sincere, and it is clear that the relationship that Christine and her mom have had over the years has been complicated by the fact that she, Annie, left the world of polygamy and was on the outside of their faith, outside of the family for a long time, because once a woman leaves polygamy, they're typically shunned and not allowed to be involved in weddings or the ceremonies or the engagements. And they don't want people interacting with the women that leave because they don't want the women to like influence other people to leave, right? The men are just super possessive about the women staying. And so I would assume that for Annie, this is just a really amazing moment because Annie was courageous and brave, and Annie left a situation where she wasn't happy, and Annie went public about leaving polygamy and shared her story in a documentary. And for a long time, she and Christine were estranged because of that, because Annie was on the other side of the spectrum. So I'm happy that Christine was able to share this day with both of her parents. They take a boat ride, and on the boat ride, there's booze, and Christine chugs a beer and reveals that it's YOLO, and she's not your average fundamentalist polygamist anymore.
I don't usually chug beer. My first marriage, no drinking. So now I drink and have tattoos. I still am very sheltered, don't get me wrong.
So Christine and David have a completely different life. She is abandoning a lot of the rules that she had to live on underneath her marriage with Kody. Although Kody's eyes are so bloodshot in this episode that it's hard to believe that Kody is adhering to some of these rules. It seems to me like Kody and Robin probably don't follow the rules as much as they claim they do. On the boat, you'll see that a lot of the kids are there, including Leon and Logan, who's rarely ever filmed. You'll also see Hunter's there, Gabriel, Garrison. All the kids are there, except for Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn is not at this event. Nobody ever discusses Gwendolyn. It's not discussed why she's not there. Christine constantly talks about her daughters. Her daughters have gifts for her. And it's always obvious that Gwendolyn is not there, okay? Given the fact that Peyton was so involved in this big day and her issues with Peyton and maybe her issues with her mom not standing up for her, she decides to skip this day. Janelle gives a speech, which, I don't know, it's sweet, it was tender, and then it was also just it was short. I was surprised how short it was.
This is my sister wife, Janelle.
This is a fairy tale, and I'm so excited to be part of this with you. And thank you for making me part of the deal. For loving my children and letting me love yours.
Yes.
And I'm part of the deal, and I'm so grateful.
You are. You are part of the deal. Oh my God, love you.
Pretty obvious that these people don't go to a lot of weddings because that speech was sweet, but it was slightly awkward in my opinion. Because she's saying, thank you for making me part of the deal. Like, she's very grateful that Christine is including her in her new life with David and his kids and loving her kids and letting Janelle love her kids, like letting Janelle love Christine's kids, Christine loving her kids. But Janelle doesn't say anything like, I'm so glad that you found love. I'm so glad that you two are such an amazing couple. You have such an amazing energy. You're perfect for each other. It's just like, this is a fairy tale. And thank you for making me part of the deal. I don't know. I was tearing up when she said it, but I just thought if they edited out the meat of it, I would have been disappointed. Like if she said something better than that and we didn't get to see it, then I would be annoyed. But this was just another example to me of like Christine and Janelle do have a relationship and they have filmed on the show and they have a relationship on the show. But when the real parts of this episode were going on, like when she was spending time with her kids and his kids for the spa, or when they were getting party favors ready for people at the wedding, Janelle wasn't really involved in any of that. It was more so just, this is Janelle showing up at the rehearsal. I don't know if that makes sense. I believe they have a good relationship. I just don't believe they're as close as Christine is with her family, if that makes sense. It must be in their contracts that they all appear in every episode because Mary's in this episode, even though she's not invited. Kody is prevalent in this episode and he's not at this event. And he's commentating and providing commentary to the event, to his relationship, to the scenes. It's really awkward. The only person that doesn't sit down for one-on-one is Robin, which I think should tell you everything you need to know about Christine and Robin. She still cannot stand Christine at all. Once they get off the boat, Christine then sees her father, and her father literally steals the show.
Love you so much, honey.
Love you too,
You've had a lot of fun, hon.
Love you too.
It's going to be a way different years than those last 20 were.
Yeah.
He was on.
Love, Dad.
Oh, honey. He was just bawling. I can't believe I lost her. Oh, honey. Here you are with a wonderful man. I'm telling you. He loves you a lot.
Wow, he loves you so much.
You're going to be treated good.
Yes.
So Rex Allred is a son of Rulon Allred, who is and was the prophet of the Apostolic United Brethren. Now, there is a brand new docuseries called Daughters of the Cult, which talks about the LeBaron family, which incidentally, David acknowledges and shares that two of his sisters were married into a family in polygamy and lived in Mexico. They were members of the LeBaron family, the La Colonia LeBaron, part of that whole sect, the original group of Joel's church, Joel LeBaron. So he has ties to polygamy, but he's not a polygamist. They talk and discuss Rulon's death that was orchestrated by Ervil's group. And they classify Rulin as a decent and honorable man, which he wasn't really. But Rulin had 47 kids, and Rex was from his second wife, and his second wife had 3 children. So Rex is, I think he's in his 80s, 70s, 80s, and he doesn't like Kody, clearly. And he's like, he was crying to me about you and losing you, and look at you now. It's going to be a better 20 years. It's going to be a better 20 years. You're finally going to be treated well. And Christine did credit Rex to her leaving Kody. She mentioned a couple seasons ago that over and over and over again, he did encourage her to leave if she wasn't happy. Now, Rex is not a polygamist anymore. He has one wife. He lives in Idaho. I don't know if he's a part of the church anymore, but he is definitely not a polygamist. So he lives outside of that world at this point. So Rex steals the show. He does not like Kody, and he says Christine is finally going to be treated well. Like, how awesome is it to hear her parents say that? You've got Christine's mom crying and her dad thrilled. The next part is the morning of the wedding. And at the morning of the wedding, they're getting ready. This is where Janelle comes, and they all have their makeup done and their hair done. Peyton is there, McKelty's there, Truly's there. They talk about, is David our stepdad? Is he not our stepdad? A lot happens in this morning part. I think the biggest part is the discussion about the stepfather and whether or not they accept him as a stepfather or if he's just my mother's husband. Maddie breaks down and says that she loves David, and then Isabel and Aspen have a conversation about, is David our stepdad or not? And then Kody weighs in, which is so awkward.
It's so weird because I'm very sad that the other family's not here and that there is animosity and that there is problem. But I'm also like, I love David and David's family.
Robin and Cody's kids not being there is really never addressed, and it's only discussed right there where Maddie basically says that it's heartbreaking to her that there's this division within the family and discord within the family, and that parts of the family can't be there because of that division. Kody and Robin were not invited. I don't know if Christine invited the kids, but I have a feeling that even if Christine would have invited the kids, they wouldn't have attended because they're not going to disobey Kody and Robin. David is sort of interwoven into a lot of this. Like, he has some time with his kids. He does the morning of, he's got all of the guys coming into his room and talking about their officiant, which we've already discussed in another video, so I didn't want to bring that into this one. But his son-in-law is going to be the officiant. And really, then we go back to where Aspen and Isabel start talking about if he's their stepdad.
That he's being more referred to as our stepdad.
I wouldn't call him that.
I don't know. Because I feel like because I'm older,
he's our mom's husband.
Yeah. Do you want him to be your stepdad? Is that like something you want to refer to him as?
No, not really, but it's
really?
not. It's just because I don't know what to do with it. It's because that's like foreign to me.
There's definitely a sense throughout this episode that even though Christine and David are super in love and they're a good fit and everyone loves them together, that everyone is still in some ways adjusting to this relationship because of how quickly it's moved. So they've married in 10 months. And so the older kids who have a father that they love, while their relationship with him is estranged and complicated, they still love him. And in this world, you know, this whole idea of stepfathers and stepmothers doesn't really exist. So they might struggle to understand what a stepfather is or what a stepdad is. But under the law, legally, a stepfather is the man that is married to your mother. So it's the man that's not your biological father that is married to your mother. He doesn't have to contribute to raising you. He doesn't have to help raise you to be a stepdad. He's literally a stepdad once he marries your mother. You don't have to view him that way, but under the law, he is. He doesn't have any legal rights to these kids because they're adults. But Kody then weighs in, and I think it's hilarious that he says that none of his kids are ever going to refer to him, David, as a stepdad, even Truly, which is ironic to me because Kody was a stepfather, and he and Robin basically forced the kids to call Kody dad right off the bat. So this just shows you how differently Kody and Robin handled it versus Christine and David. David and Christine have no expectations and aren't forcing things. Kody and Robin forced it, but then Kody says that his kids will never call David stepdad.
To be honest with you, I mean, Truly's the youngest of all of that group, and she's old enough. I don't think she'll ever call him dad or stepdad or refer to him as stepdad, maybe. But it doesn't matter. I mean, this is all their choice, whatever they choose to do.
Isabel gives a speech to her mom saying that she's really glad her mom is happy. Maddie breaks down and cries and says that she loves David. They finish getting ready. Then they go to the venue. Christine is glowing. She's so happy. All of the kids have said that David and Christine are just two people that love to entertain. They love to be around other people. And they are a good match because they both have a lot of energy and they love to be together. So everyone loves David. The quickness of the relationship, I think, is a little bit, people are still adjusting, but I get it. It's their dad and her split up, and it's an adjustment for everyone. Christine takes a moment briefly before she gets dressed in her wedding dress and sits on the floor and takes a deep breath and gets ready. And David and the guys walk to the venue, and then it's ready for the next episode. So we're going to have the wedding start when we see it begin next week. So really, long story short, Christine and David's marriage is way different than Kody and Christine's. Kody is ridiculous in this episode. The kids love David. Robin is petty and ridiculous. Mary is very gracious and kind about Christine finding love. And we'll have to see what happens next week on the newest episode. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.